Now, focusing on the word Lucifer. Lucifer means light bringer, right? Another translation for Lucifer, besides light, is luminous. And if you look at every translation, almost every translation, anytime you see lucid or loose, that means light, right? But another, excuse me, another translation besides light is luminous, which means to illuminate. In the late 1700s, Satan's light birth followers, known as the illuminated ones, or as we know them today, Illuminati, aka Freemasonry. Or as you will learn as we go further, is the teachings of white Egyptology. And what I mean by white Egyptology is all Freemasons are actually taking knowledge from Egypt and making their own and just change the name, but it's still Egyptology. And you're gonna see what I mean by that. The early roots of Freemasonry started in 1773 in Frankfurt, Germany by three males, Jacob Frank, Adam Weishaupt, and another well-known family dynasty we will discuss in day 3. Now, if you look to the left, this should be familiar to you. This is the Masonic symbol. This is a symbol of Freemasonry, right? On the bottom in the middle, you see symbolic degrees. The first degree is entered apprentice. The second degree is fellow craft. The third degree, which is the highest degree, is sublime degree of master detective. I mean, master mason, right? So if you let me see here, there's only 3 degrees. But if you look to the left and the right, the York and Scottish rites, there are lateral degrees to ascend to in order to obtain title of Master Mason. 33 degrees and these 2 rites is the same as having 3rd degree. So you hear, and I got family in this too, so you hear people say that, oh, I'm a 32nd degree this, I'm a 12th degree that. What they're referring to is they on the York rite or the Scottish Masonry side of it. There's only 3 degrees, but then they got lateral teachings before they ascended to Satan's degree, right? Now, if you look on the bottom left, I pulled up or zoomed in on the Order of the Eastern Star, right? Which is on the far right. Let me see. Put this out the way. So, Order of the Eastern Star is very similar to the Satanic Star, which is the Baphomet. If you don't know what a Baphomet is, it's the pagan idol worship of what they perceive to be Satan, right? It's a duality in it. It's as you would say, a hermaphrodite, half beast, half man. It's also, I didn't put the picture on it because it's too lewd, but it's the upper part of the Baphomet has breasts like women. The lower part has male characteristics. Behind it, you see the pentagram, which is a high form of witchcraft worship. It's an occult witchcraft, but it's not the highest. You'll see later, it's not the highest because it's only 5-point star. If you look in the middle, the symbol for sorcery, what we call medicine, is in the middle, because that's what medicine is really sorcery when you study it out. If you look at his hand gestures, as above, so below, we see that a lot in our culture today. And I just wanted to pinpoint out certain things. And now, let this be said first before we move on. If you are currently a member or considering becoming a member of a Masonic temple, this message is not intended to offend, but it is intended to encourage and motivate. Black people are perishing for a lack of knowledge. So please, I encourage you, whatever group or affiliation you are thinking about joining or already a part of, do your research. Do your research for the sake of not perishing. For example, why is the Order of the Eastern Star symbol similar to the Baphomet symbol, the Satanic Star? An example of this dark light was found in the life of an elected sovereign grand commander of the Scottish Rites Southern Jurisdiction named Albert Pike. That's a long title, but Albert Pike reached the highest degree of masonry, which was Master Mason on the York Rite Masonry side on the left. We will discuss him more in day 3. Right now, all I want us to do is focus on this. Since day 1, there has always been 2 choices. Either you with the creator or you with the imitator, right? And what do I mean by that? So the creator God has certain attributes and traits that Satan imitates, like the Holy Trinity. Light, Jacob was God's chosen race. Esau was Satan's. Israelites was the descendants of Jacob. Edomites were descendants of Esau. We have the cross. They have the Baphomet. We're known as Christians. They're known as Luciferians. And I wanted to pinpoint this because in day 2, you're going to see, and at the end of day 1, when God was passing judgment to man and Satan, he said that there was going to be enmity between the seed of the woman and Satan's seed. Now, biblical scholars, they bypass that fact that that Satan has a seed too. And the reason why I say that is because scripture reveals to us that not only does God have a spiritual seed, anyone who accepts the Christ, but he also has a physical seed. And you can read Romans 11 when Paul was talking to the Romans, which was, you can't go too much and blame today's churches, because God told Daniel, you will see, he said, shut up the words and seal the books to the end, where knowledge will increase and man will be going to and fro. So there had to be a godly revelation first, or increase in knowledge. So I say that to say, because I read a book by Watchman Nee. He tried to exhume or extract Romans so deep. But if you read Romans from chapters 1 to 8, he's talking to the Romans. But then out of nowhere, he breaks off in chapters 9, 10, and 11 and start talking to his people, the Hebrews. And then he go right back to talking to the Romans in chapter 12. And nobody could understand what he was referring to. But now we do, because of technological advances like DNA testing. This would mean that Satan, being the imitator, also has a spiritual and physical seed, right?